Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Savage NASCAR podcast. I'm C. Will, aka Savage NASCAR, and today we have a very special guest with us, Todd Parrott. He was the championship winning crew chief in 1999 with Dale Jarrett for Robert Yates Racing, and we are very happy to have him on the show today. How are you doing, Todd?
Hey, buddy. I'm doing great. Thank you. All right. I am totally overwhelmed and very appreciative to be here today with you guys.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Now, first question I'm going to ask you is a question I ask every guest that comes on the show, and that is, how did you get your start in racing, and where did you find your passion for the sport?
Let me see. How did I get my start in racing? Well, I was born into the NASCAR Winston Cup Series. My dad, Buddy Parrott, he was a very well-known crew chief for Darrell Waltrip, Joe Ruttman, Morgan Shepherd, Rusty Wallace. He won 10 races. So when I was a kid, I wasn't sure what I was going to do. I played golf and turned down three golf scholarships to just to follow my dad and his passion for NASCAR.
Awesome. And I know you started off with Diegard Racing, if I'm correct, Diegard Motorsports. You were on the crew with your brother Brad, and you sort of at the start of your career, you were involved with tire carrying and tire changing, but also you were a chassis specialist, and you were on Rusty Wallace's team for a good bit before 1990. In 1989, y'all won the championship with Rusty Wallace. So that was really cool. And 30 actually, fun fact, 34 years ago on Sunday, it was the 1988 North Wilkesboro race where Rusty Wallace bumped Jeff Bodine to get the win. So can you recall maybe that race?
Oh yeah. It was so cool. I mean, I can't tell you how much I love North Wilkesboro Raceway, and to be able to, with the announcements of, Marcus Smith and all the people at SMI. This what's going to happen in May at North Wilkesboro is just like so incredible.
Yeah.
Like I said, I grew up, and I got lots of pictures and memories at North Wilkesboro, and me in Victory Lane with Rusty Wallace and a lot of other movies. It's crazy.
Yeah, I bet. Now you were with of course you were with Diegard Motorsports, but then you ended up going to the Blue Max team, and you and your brother followed Wallace to Penske Racing South at the time around 1990, and then you won 19 races between 1992 and 1994 with Wallace while he's driving the two car. But after that, in 95, you went to Robert Yates Racing towards the end of that season. You were the crew chief in the 88 car, which Ernie Irvan was coming back from his injury. You were the crew chief for him then. And then 1996, you became full-time crew chief of Dale Jarrett in the 88 car. Now, in 1996, it's crazy. Y'all won the Clash during Speed Weeks in 96 and then won the Daytona 500. Can you tell us about that whole weekend and everything that happened? Because I'm sure it's probably one of the most special moments of your career.
So I'm just gonna be honest with you, okay?
Okay.
So when Robert Yates called me up, him and Larry McReynolds, and at the end of 1995, hey, and said that, hey, listen, we're getting ready to start up a second team, and Dale Jarrett's going to be the driver. We're going to have a number 28 car and an 88 car, and we want you to crew chief the 88 car with Dale Jarrett, with the Ford Motor Company, Ford Quality Care sponsorship. And I was like, oh my gosh, you gotta be kidding me. It was so surreal until we actually sat down. And I'll never forget that day in a meeting. Me, Robert, Larry, at Larry's house, and on Lake Norman, I can't remember what it was. Anyhow, so it was just amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I bet it was. And also, I mean, 96, y'all had a great year, ended up finishing third in points, won 4 races. You also won the Brickyard 400 and the Coke 600, if I'm correct, that year as well. So that's 3 triple crowns right there. You know what I'm saying? So I meant to ask this a little bit ago, but what was it like working on the same team with your brother and then having your father as the crew chief? And what was some of the best advice that your father gave you as you began your racing career and as you began your career in the sport of NASCAR?
Well, let me go back and say that in 1996, when I got a chance, it was the first time as crew chief, was Robert Yates Racing. It started in 1995, obviously, with Arnie Irving driving the 88 car.
Mm-hmm.
But when we switched to Ford in 1996, we went to Daytona. We won. I mean, my first time out as a crew chief, we won the Busch Clash.
Yes.
And we qualified, I think, second for the Daytona 500. And then we won the actual Daytona 500 in 1996.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and as everybody knows, they go on YouTube and everything else and see the Dale and Dale show. I made a call when we came into pits, and I'll never forget that day as long as I live. Robert said, "What are you gonna do?" The caution came out. He said, "What are you gonna do?" I'm like, 4 tires. He goes, "Todd, if you change 4 tires, you're going to come out behind the 3 car and not have a chance to win the race." I looked at Robert and I said, "Please do me a favor. I'm going to change 4 tires. I'm not going to, but my pit crew is going to change 4 tires, and we are going to drive away from the 3 car at the end of the race." And he goes, "You're crazy." And I went, "Okay, this is what I'm going to do." And guess what?
Y'all won.
We won in 1996 Daytona 500. My first race as a crew chief.
Yeah, that's incredible, you know.
You know, I mean, there's been a couple guys, I think, that has done the same thing. But for me, and my history, my family, my dad, Buddy Parrott, who is a Daytona 500 champion, and my brother, Brad, who's won multiple races in NASCAR. To go out and win that race on that Sunday was so special.
Yeah, I mean, I bet it was, and you had a lot of huge wins in your career. I mean, the also win the 2000 Daytona 500, of course, the Brickyard 400s, 1999 Pepsi 400. I go on with a lot of your accomplishments. Now, let's move on a little bit to the 1997 season. You finished, I want to say, second in points that year, but won about 6 races. And then in 1999, you won 4 races and ended up winning the championship with 24 top fives, 29 top tens, and 34 starts, leading over 1,000 laps. Your team was on fire that year. Could you tell us about that season and maybe like just how was I feel like as y'all got more chemistry, the team started to click, and y'all were on fire from the beginning. Though I mean, from 1996, all those wins, and then the next couple years, y'all were contending for the championship year in and year out. So, could you tell us about the 1999 season?
Well, all I can tell you is that the day that Robert Yates and Larry McReynolds called me and wanted to sit down and talk about the future of the 88 team for quality care. I mean, it was history in the books, okay? Mm-hmm. I mean, we won, obviously, the big races. We won the elite races. And fortunately, we were able to win the championship in 1999. But you know what? More than anything, we built a relationship between friends and family that nobody will ever be able to go back and repeat what we did. I mean, I feel so blessed.
From people I've talked to that have also worked with Robert Yates Racing, they said the same. I mean, it was a family atmosphere, and everyone really cared for each other. And Larry Lackey's actually one of my good friends. He worked on it with Ricky Rudd for some years, and he worked with Robert Yates Racing for many years as well. So, I guess now I was going to ask you this real quick. So, how was your relationship with Larry McReynolds? And I'm sure you're still good friends with him today. And what was some of the advice he gave you as you were beginning your tenure as a crew chief, which you were a crew chief for about over 20 years, if I'm correct?
You know what? That's a great question. So, Larry Lackey is like the number one man in my heart, and whenever I want to go get some horsepower in a Doug Yates, Robert Yates engine, I would always go in his room, which was off limits to a lot of people. You had to have a key to get in there. It's unbelievable. I mean, you had to have a key to get in there. Larry Lackey was the key to Robert Yates Racing and all the horsepower back in the day when I was there. And to to this day, I mean, I have so many friends and family that support us. So actually, when all this conversation came about, and Larry McReynolds reached out to me, obviously, and said, "Hey, what do you think about, what are your thoughts about being the crew chief on the number 18 car with Dale Jarrett?" And I was like, oh, I was blown out of the water. And I reached out to a very, 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 very important person in my life, who I worked with in NASCAR, at Rusty Wallace's team, Blue Max Racing team, Jimmy Maycar, which we all know. And basically, I asked him, I said, "Hey, Jimmy," I said, "You and me have been friends for a long time, and you know what my capabilities are. Do you think I'm ready to be a crew chief in the NASCAR Cup Series?" And he said, "Well, hell yeah." He said, "You've done everything you need to do. You followed me. Basically, you've led this Blue Max Racing team to multiple wins and obviously a championship. With your experience, so you're ready."
Awesome. Now, another question I had for you. What was it like working with your brother and working with your dad on the same team?
At Penske?
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah, it was fun. Can I tell you something?
Yes.
Back in the day, we had so much fun working at Penske Racing, that Miller Junior draft car. The name of the team was the hashtag Good Time Games.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, it was so much fun.
Yeah, I mean,
it was all about winning. And we had guys on our team, my brother Brad, just everybody. It was so much fun. And all Rusty wanted to do was go collect trophies.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad was the same way. So, yeah, we were the Good Time Gang, and we had so much fun.
Yeah. Now, one thing I was going to mention, I feel like not a lot of people talk about this a whole lot, but at the end of the '88 season, y'all won 4 of the last 5 races that year, just absolutely dominated those last 5 races, and then end up winning the championship next year, of course. But moving on to the 2000s, you were the crew chief of Dale Jarrett for his final win at Talladega in 2005. A crazy race in general. And then later on, of course, you went to Richard Petty Motorsports for a little bit. You're crew chief of Labonte in the 43 for some time. I mean, you're also crew chief for Elliott Sadler and the 38 for some years. You were a part of so many teams. But if you could tell us, what was the most challenging part of being a crew chief?
Wow. How many hours do you
have? You say how many hours we have?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, feel free to share all you can.
Yeah. So, the time I had crew chief with Elliott Sadler was totally amazing, and all the other drivers as well. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I have been totally blessed. Blessed. I mean, God has blessed me with an amazing talent,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, it's all I can tell you. It's like I am very blessed with amazing talent to work with so many incredible drivers and so many incredible teammates and people in NASCAR.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, a lot of people have told me about, of course, um, just being a part of the sport in general. Just and like they're just very blessed to be a part of sport. And I'm very blessed to be able to meet the people I have and make connections and everything as I get involved with media and getting started in my career. But enough about me. Real quick, I was going to ask you, of all the crown jewel races that you won, which one was the most special? Was there like one that you put above any of the other ones, like the Daytona 500 or Brickyard 400, or would you consider the title, the championship in '99, to be your biggest accomplishment?
Well, oh my gosh, you put me on the spot, which is not a bad thing. But I'm just gonna go out there and tell you that the 1996 Daytona 500, the week we had, Speed Weeks 1996, winning the Busch Clash, qualifying second, and the Dale Show in 1996, and winning the 500. I mean, that was my first Cup race as a crew chief, and that was so incredibly special.
Mm-hmm.
But I've had a lot of them, okay? I mean, I have been very, 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 God bless me with a lot of talent, a lot of people, and you know what? I mean, I've been lucky to have so many people in NASCAR and people that support me, support our sport, and everything else. But to win the Daytona 500 right out of the box, my first time, I guess it kind of rates at the top of the list.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. Like, I mean, it was just absolutely incredible, and thank you for sharing about that. Do you have, by any chance, do you have any funny Dale Jarrett stories?
I do. I'm not going to share them with you. Oh,
Okay.
trouble.
All right. You were at Charlotte for the Roval 400 recently, and I was going to ask you. I'm not sure if you'd want to answer this, but what is your thoughts on NASCAR nowadays? Like, what is your thought on the current state of NASCAR?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So my current thought on the state of NASCAR is that wow. somebody needs to get somebody needs to get in charge of everything going on. Right. There's a lot of good that's gonna happen, but there needs to be a lot of change.
Definitely.
And I mean, it hurts my heart, okay, my NASCAR heart, to see everything going on. Okay. Yeah, Kyle Larson, Bubba Wallace. Just everybody needs to get their hands around everything going on.
Yeah, I definitely get what you're saying. I mean, with the next gen car, I feel like of course they kind of rushed it in. They weren't prepared for the new car. They didn't have all the parts needed. I mean, just the lack of safety too. There's been a lot of concussions this year from Kurt Busch to Alex Bowman. As I was saying, there's been a lot of bad crashes this year, and there's been a lot of tire issues with them going to a single lug nut, which of course I feel like nobody liked that at all. Why only single? That's not part of stock car racing, and just getting rid of the way it was is definitely a shame. Even though I do think, as you said, there is some positives. Thank y'all so much for watching this week's episode of the Savage NASCAR podcast. If you haven't yet, please hit the like and subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. And share this video out with everyone you know. Before the video ends, I do want to talk about something real quick. As you all know, if you do follow me on Instagram, the NASCAR onboards account that was run by me and Mike got taken down. And it was such a shame. I mean, we had just hit the milestone of 10K followers. We were at 1 million views. And all that gets taken away without any explanation. We did post our statement on Instagram on Monday. And I don't know when this video is going to come out, but it was up on Monday. And I just wanted to say that we are not giving up. We are making another account. Yes, we are making another onboards account. And we need your support. Help us get back to where we were, please. As I mentioned before, we had no explanation for where we went wrong, and we do not know where we violated community guidelines. However, we will be posting different sorts of content on this onboards account, and it won't be just strictly NASCAR. And we will be much more careful than we were. That's all I really got to say. I just wanted to announce that, let y'all know what happened. And yeah, so if we get your support, if you could please follow us on Instagram, we'd be so thankful if you could do that. And please spread the word with Justice for NASCAR onboards and spread our new account out. Spread the news because we got great content coming your way. Anyways, that's going to do it for the video. Thank y'all so much for watching, and until next time, I'm out. Peace!